You don't need a better paddle, you don't need faster hands or a more powerful serve or some advanced shot you saw in a highlight reel. What you need are strategies, specific, repeatable decisions you make before the rally starts and throughout the point that the overwhelming majority of players at the recreational level simply aren't making. Most players are playing pickleball on instinct, reacting, improvising, hoping. The 5 strategies in this video replace hope with a plan. And a player with a plan beats a player on instinct almost every time. Let's go. 1. Be the team that gets to the kitchen first every single time. This is not complicated, but it is the most important structural advantage in the entire game, and most recreational players have no reliable plan to achieve it. Here's the reality of how pickleball works. The team at the kitchen line controls the point. They control the angles, the pace, the decision of when to be patient and when to attack. The team that's back at the baseline or stuck in no man's land is reacting to everything. They have no good options. They're scrambling on ball after ball, hoping to stay in the rally long enough for something to change. It almost never does. The moment you decide that getting to the kitchen line is your primary objective on every single point, your entire game changes. The serve becomes a tool to push the returner back so you have time to advance. The third shot drop becomes obvious, not because it's the fanciest shot, but because it's the most reliable way to get in without being attacked on the way there. Every reset has a purpose. To neutralize the rally long enough to take another step forward. Most of your opponents have no intentional plan for getting to the kitchen. They just end up wherever they end up after the first few shots. When you have a plan and they don't, you are already playing a different game. Make this your first commitment. Get in. Every point, no exceptions. 2. Hit to the backhand until they prove they can handle it. Here's something that's true of almost every recreational player you will ever face. Their backhand is weaker than their forehand. More errors, less pace, less range, less confidence. This is not a stereotype. It's the most consistent pattern in the sport at every level below elite. And yet most players don't exploit it. They hit to wherever is convenient. They vary their placement because varying feels smart and tactical. They hit to the forehand half the time without even thinking about it. And they wonder why the rally stays even when they had a structural advantage sitting right in front of them the whole time. Targeting the backhand relentlessly, cross-court, ball after ball, and is not boring. It's not predictable in a way that hurts you. It's pressure. Each ball your opponent has to handle on their weaker side is a ball that requires more effort, more recovery, more concentration than the same ball to their forehand would. Under that sustained pressure, something eventually gives. The backhand dink floats up, the reset goes wide, the return sits short, and you have the opportunity you were building toward hit to the backhand until they demonstrate they can handle it consistently. If they can, adjust. But most of the time, they can't. Most of the time, the backhand is the weakness, and staying there is the strategy. And if you want to take your pickleball to the next level, check out the Pickleball Master Pack, a pack that includes the Elite Player Guide, a guide with technical and tactical tips, exclusive routines, and much more. The Become a PPA Tour Player Guide, where you'll learn how to become a pro pickleball player, a full 7 days fitness routine to take your fitness to the next level, and a prevention routine to prevent injuries and enhance recovery. This pack already helped hundreds of pickleball players. Get yours clicking the link in the description. Let's continue with the video. 3. Keep the ball low and let your opponent make the mistake. This one requires you to be honest about how recreational pickleball actually works. Points at your level are not decided primarily by winners. They're decided by errors. Somebody hits the ball out or into the net or pops it up at the wrong moment and gets punished. That's how the vast majority of points end. Not with a brilliant shot, but with a mistake. The player who makes fewer mistakes wins, not the player who hits harder, not the player who goes for more. The player who keeps the ball in play, keeps it low, and refuses to give their opponent anything easy to attack. A low ball is a defensive nightmare for your opponent. When the ball arrives below net height, they cannot attack it. They have to hit upward to clear the net, which removes pace, removes angles, and removes the option to do anything aggressive. Every well-placed dink, every reset that dies in the kitchen, every cross-court ball that stays low is a ball your opponent cannot do anything dangerous with. You're not grinding passively. You're applying a strategy. One that forces your opponent to be the one who eventually tries something risky, makes the error, and hands you the point. Stay patient. Keep it low. Let them make the mistake. At the recreational level, they almost always will. 4. Attack the middle. When you don't know where to go, there's a decision most players make completely wrong in the heat of a rally. When they're unsure where to hit, they go for a corner, a big angle, something aggressive. And it goes out or into the net or gets handled cleanly because the shot was low percentage from the position they were in. The right answer when you don't know where to go is the middle. Every time. Here's why. The middle of the net is the lowest point recent B, and the center strap sits about 2 inches lower than the net at the sidelines. Hitting cross-court through the middle gives you more clearance for the same shot and more margin for error. More importantly, in doubles, a ball aimed between two players creates a specific and powerful problem. Somebody has to decide who takes it. That decision has to be made in real time, under pressure, in a fraction of a second. Even teams that communicate well have moments of hesitation. A ball that sits in the seam between two players, especially one that arrives faster than expected, often results in a collision, a hesitation, or a weak shot hit by the wrong player from a bad position. You don't need to hit a remarkable shot to create confusion. You just need to aim between them. When in doubt, the middle is the answer. It's not exciting, it wins points. 5. Make them uncomfortable by changing the speed. Rhythm is the enemy, not your rhythm, theirs. The moment your opponent settles into a rally, finds the pace, starts moving and responding with confidence, they become harder to beat. They're not thinking anymore, they're just playing. And players who aren't thinking are playing their best pickleball. Your job is to take the rhythm away before they find it. The way you do this is by mixing speeds deliberately, not randomly. Deliberately. After a sequence of soft, slow dinks that have pulled your opponent into a patient, low-energy exchange, you speed one up. Not a random speed up, but one on a ball that sat up slightly. One where you have a genuine opportunity. The contrast between the slow pace they were calibrated for and the sudden pace coming at them creates exactly the kind of disruption that produces errors. They're still in slow ball mode when the fast ball arrives. It works in reverse too. If you've been driving balls hard and your opponent has started to time your pace, drop a soft dink into the kitchen. Let it bounce slow and low. Their momentum is carrying them into a ball that has no pace at all. Awkward, rushed, wrong body position for the shot they ended up having to hit. Comfort wins rallies. Discomfort causes errors. Every time your opponent starts to settle in and find a groove, that's your signal to change the speed. You don't need better shots to disrupt them. You just need the awareness to recognize when they're comfortable and the discipline to take that comfort away. So there it is. Get to the kitchen first. Every single point with a deliberate plan instead of just hoping you end up there. Target the backhand relentlessly until your opponent proves they can handle it, because most of them can't. Keep the ball low, stay patient, and let the errors come to you instead of forcing something that isn't there. Aim for the middle when you don't know where to go. It's safer, it's lower over the net, and it creates real confusion in doubles. And change the speed the moment your opponent finds a rhythm, because a player without rhythm makes mistakes without you having to do anything special. None of these require a new technique or a better body. They require you to think clearly and execute the same plan while your opponent improvises theirs. That's the whole edge. If one of these is going straight into your next game, drop it in the comments. And if you want to keep seeing pickleball broken down the way it actually works, subscribe to the Pickleball Dude. See you in the next one.